It was 1944 or 45. I was 11 years old. I auditioned for her to be her piano student. She was at first quite reluctant to consider a student so young. She only taught college-age students. My father had her recommended to him by a friend who was a musician, and he was very persuasive, and he finally got her to agree to at least meet and hear me play. And when she did, she accepted me as a student. I was her youngest piano pupil. I don't remember the audition actually. I guess I was so nervous I blanked it out, but I remember her lessons very well. They were wonderful. Well, she was a towering figure. I put her on a pedestal. She was the first performing artist I had ever met, and I was in awe of her. She was magnificent on the stage, cool, calm, and collected, but she gave me a sense of the musical responsibility and also gave me what I needed as a young piano student: Bach, Handel, Scarlatti, and also scholarship. One of the first things she had my family buy was the Grove's Dictionary of Music and Musicians, so that scholarship all worked in. I also was given these fiendishly finger-twisting piano exercises by Dochdani for independence and strength, which is what I needed very much at that time. I attended her recitals. One I remember vividly was Town Hall. It was 1945, November 12th, a mixed program. 2 Bach Preludes and Fugues, book 1, book 2, a Mozart sonata, Beethoven's Appassionata Sonata, Copland's Piano Sonata with the composer present, and he shared the bows, and her signature Brahms Variations on a Theme by Handel. I was fascinated with the performance process, and I asked her, do you ever get nervous before a performance? And her answer stays with me today. She said, a performance is always a performance. When I became a professional orchestra and opera conductor, I understood just what she meant. She was always seeking perfection. She worked with great focus and seriousness and very hard. And that was her character and her musical trait. She also was seeking to portray faithfully the musical styles of everything she played. She played not only Bach, although she did that superbly and focused on it, but she also did music of her time, music of romantic music, and she was very versatile, and she always sought to play this music in its character and its style. Inspiring. Well, I mentioned about scholarship and the Grove's Dictionary, and always be pursuing texts and editions. I heard her perform not only that one time in Town Hall, but I heard her perform privately before she had public performances, and it was just the dedication and the professionalism impressed me just greatly. I attended her concerts all throughout her career, and she was very pleased and proud of me becoming a musician, a conductor. And I was able to have the great honor and pleasure of inviting her to be a soloist with me, with my orchestras and music festivals. And she, in turn, invited me to conduct 2 Bach cantatas on the 6-concert series in Carnegie Hall that she produced in honor of the 300th anniversary of Bach's birth in March 1985. She probably remained somewhat controversial. She was original, she was unique. But this is a very territorial field, and everyone has their own viewpoint and feels threatened by anyone else. But the example that she set of seeking the earliest editions, and she's researched all over libraries all over the world, particularly in Bach, traveling to places where Bach had been. And so this thoroughness and that depth is an example to emulate and to admire. And her performances stand for themselves: the clarity, the articulation, the voicing. These are some things that you can learn from all the time. There's always the things new to be learned, and in this field, but she took advantage of every possibility in her lifetime and wrote up most everything very scholarly of her findings. I'd ask her about the chromatic fantasy and fugue of Bach. The Tureck Bach Research Institute has given grants and awarded to a very fine young Spanish musicologist, scholar, pianist, Juan Elias Castañeda, to assemble and to document her writings, particularly those of her unfinished edition of the Chromatic Fantasy and Fugue, which will never be definitively finished. So, but he's going to write, he's written these articles and they'll be posted on our website of the Institute. But in that 1 minute, I would ask Dr. Tureck for her final version. And it would only take less than a minute to ask and all the time in the world to enjoy and to revel in her answer, which would be just revelatory.